Hey, good morning, everybody. Jump on in, come on in. I'm so glad to see everybody. This is coming up on, I think this is chapter number 7 we are on today. But before we get started, I just wanted to welcome everyone in the room on an author's perspective with 10 power stories to impact any leader. Journal your way to leadership success. So, welcome this morning. I'm John Register, and I am a two-time Paralympian. I'm a former Olympic class athlete turned global motivational speaker. And this past week, we just found out and just celebrated that I was recognized as one of the top 50 global leadership speakers in the world. I mean, I was in the same sentence like with Tony Robbins and Brene Brown, Mel Robbins, Simon Sinek. It was like, what just happened? Thank you, real leaders, for that recognition. And so today, but before that, I was an Olympic class athlete turned global motivational speaker. And today I'll take you on a journey from the peaks of Olympic trials to the trenches of personal tragedy, and then back to the triumph of the stages. Riches to rag to riches, my story is. So, just to give you a little background on myself, yes, I was a world class athlete, ran for Arkansas, went to the military, was up in Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Had an accident when I was in the military, which amputated my left leg. That accident amputated my left leg. My wife, Alice, she gives me this mantra of, John, this is just our new normal. And so with that new normal mindset, I began retooling, refocusing. And I went on from there to make 2 Paralympic Games, once in swimming in 1996 at the Atlanta Games. Of course, we have Paris coming up in a few at the end of August. And I made the 2000 Paralympic Games where I won a silver medal in the long jump in Sydney, Australia. So that was the kind of transformation that took place. But we don't stop there, right? So the final thing that I was able to do was I was hired by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee and built out what became known as the Paralympic Military Sport Program, which used sport as a tool for the rehabilitation of other service members, to use sports as a tool to get them back to a healthy and active lifestyle. So that's kind of been my journey. And I wanted to, or that is my journey. And now I'm a professional speaker, and I talk to groups around the world, leaders around the world, to help them really hurdle adversity by amputating fear, embracing a new normal mindset to win the medals that are in their own lives. So the reason I wrote this book, 10 Power Stories to Impact Any Leader, and you'll see it on the border, on the border of the uh, this video. This is the book right here. 10 Power Stories is really for several reasons. During the unsettling onset of COVID-19, our U.S. ambassadors face unprecedented challenges. And those challenges were trying to get our citizens back, American citizens back to the United States. That was one of the challenges. And a lot of countries wouldn't let us come through. They wouldn't let any countries come through because they had shut down during the pandemic. And my book provides kind of the roadmap on, they needed some type of a story that got everybody together. And that story was a personalized story of how they were struggling because we were all in it. And then from there, their point of what that story taught them, and then how to apply it to the audience for them, and then how the audience would wrestle it to create actions so that they could actually move when there were a lot of things that they couldn't move through. So that's why I wrote the book. It gives them some instructions, gives some insights on how to make that happen. So today we're previewing or reviewing chapter number 7, which is give it 100% or less. Give it 100% or less. This is one of my favorite chapters. Not my favorite chapter, because my favorite chapters are the ones that are coming up when it comes to my kids and the lessons they taught me. But this lesson came from the Paralympic Games in 1996. And the story is about a gentleman from the country of Laos, and you're going to hear why it's such an amazing story. I had never really understood the Paralympic Games at this point. I often thought it was like the Special Olympics. And when I found out it was the parallel games to the Olympics, I was all in. Um, I wanted to see what I could do. But I was swimming. And the only reason I was swimming and made the Paralympic swim team was because I was trying to get back to a healthy and active lifestyle by using sport. And I didn't realize that a person could run with an artificial leg as an amputee, artificial leg running. I hadn't seen that before. The first time I saw it, I truly saw it was at our swim trials when I saw people in the parking lot running and stuff on their legs and trying to run on their legs. Hey, Joel Hunt, good morning to you, my friend. Joel is on. He's a great guy. You got to listen to his show. Hey, Joel, type in your show that you do for the Brotherhood, the military brothers and sisters that are out there. And I want to put that up here. So good morning to you. Joel's a great guy to follow. So as I am preparing for my swimming event and I make the Paralympic team, I'm still a novice to swimming. I don't know all the nuances of swimming. In fact, I left the Paralympic swim trials not realizing I had made the Paralympic swim team. I had not made the Paralympic standard. What I didn't know in the 100-meter freestyle, the race that I chose to swim, at the 50-meter mark, you do a flip turn, and at the 50-meter mark, the my time in the 50 meters was underneath the time I needed for the Paralympic game standard. And the coaches picked me up for the relay team. I couldn't believe it. They picked me for the relay for the 100 meters, which I didn't make with the 50 meters. So I got a chance to swim both the 50 meters and the 100 meters. I was in the stands in Atlanta at the natatorium, Georgia Tech natatorium, and Summer Sanders had stayed over or was invited to come back. Summer Sanders, one of our great American swimmers. And she was in the stands and just kind of hanging out with the Paralympic athletes. And we were kind of sitting next to each other. And she was sharing with me some of the nuances that I didn't know about in swimming. In the Paralympic Games, we have classifications, much like boxers or wrestlers will have classifications so that you don't get a very light person wrestling or fighting against a very large person, a big person. And so that's the same way. We're trying to combine or not combine, I'm sorry. We're trying to align is a better word, the classifications. So I'm a S9, S for swimming, 9 for the classification of function. The higher the number, if we have 1 through 12, I think it is, the higher the number, the greater the ability level inside of the disability. So we're watching classification S5. And I'm like, lean forward in my seat. And I see out of all the lanes, everybody's standing behind their blocks before they get called in the 200-meter IM, which is the butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Everybody's doing 50 meters. We see behind the stands in lane number 5, there is a guy who doesn't have any arms. He's from Laos. His name is Gong. And I'm thinking to myself, how's this guy from Laos going to swim the 200-meter IM without any arms? So Summer and I are very lean forward in our seats. And the gun goes off. He dives off into the water. And he starts undulating his body like a dolphin. And I'm moving my hands, for those that can't see right now, up and down like a dolphin. So he's kicking with his legs so hard, like he would, except he doesn't have any arms to kind of do the front catch of the stroke. So he just bobs his head up and moves his body like a dolphin to kind of get the body of the water to move the body of water back to the back of his feet so he can pound it and kick it again. By the time he gets to the wall at the 50, he is about 2 meters ahead of his nearest competitor. Summer says, I wonder how he's going to turn around, because in the IM, you have to touch the forwardmost part of your body to the wall before you turn back around and go the other way. Well, Gong's forwardmost part of his body doesn't take rocket science to figure that one out, is his head. So he, boom, slams his head against the wall, turns back around, and he's on now the backstroke kick. He's flutter kicking on his back, looking at the ceiling, and he's moving those feet just like a little motorboat. And he goes underneath the flags, which means 5 meters to go. And he bangs his head against that wall, turns back around. He's on the freestyle kick. He is now flutter kicking, the frog kick down the pool, and this guy's like 5 meters ahead of his nearest competitor, both of whom have arms and legs. And he gets to the final wall, hits his head against that wall, turns back around. He's on the freestyle kick. So now he's, instead of on his back, he's on his belly. He's flutter kicking those legs. He's pulling away still, 7 meters, 8 meters ahead of his nearest competitor, hits the wall, stops the clock. It's a new world record. It is a gold medal performance. Everybody else is still back behind him, trying to catch this kid from Laos. I'm amazed. And I'm also saying, my gosh, this guy's head has got to hurt. But Gong is so tired now from that world record performance, from that gold medal performance. We see a commotion that's happening in lane 5. And the officials are breaking protocol, coming up and going over to the edge of the pool and about to, looks like they're going to take him out of the water. And everybody hasn't finished the race yet. So you can't take somebody out of the water until everybody else finishes the race. But what's happening is Gong is so tired from that world record gold medal performance swim that he's beginning to cramp up in the water. He's beginning to sink in the water. And I was like, oh my gosh. How many times did this kid from Laos have to bang his head against the wall to win that gold medal? How many times did he have to push himself to sheer exhaustion to the point of drowning to set that world record? And when I saw that, I realized in that moment, I have always said, I have given it 100% effort, 110% effort. When I saw what 100% effort actually looked like, death, drowning, I realized I probably haven't even given 50, 60% effort. There was a lot more effort I could do. So when people tell me, I just give it 110% effort, I want you to give 70, 80, because we rarely give over 100% effort. It is an incredible feat. Hey, thanks, Joel. Joel just put something up here, and this thing. His 30 Veteran Show is on the MB Radio .us, and as always, an open invitation for all veterans and first responders. Oh man, Joel, thanks for. He says he looks up to me, but you are changing veterans' lives as well. So thank you for that and transforming them. Oh, you still have the Paralympic polo that you won many years ago. All right, I did the Paralympic military sport program. I told you all about that. Joel came through that program. Thank you for your inspiration, Joel. I really appreciate you. I realize I haven't even given 100% effort. I haven't given 90, haven't given 80%. So in the book that I write in chapter number 7 here, in how we are giving of our time, our energy, and our efforts, can we actually give the full 100%? Do we give 100%? How do we give that 100%? So what questions, can you give to yourself and ask yourself to push more tomorrow than today, to incrementally always get better, to fire it up and just push yourself, be inspired to act, be inspired to change the lives of others. We breathe life into others. We've been given life by our Creator. That Creator's breath is in us, and now we must breathe it out onto and into others. Inspiration comes from the Latin word inspiro, which means to breathe into. We want to breathe into people. If we can just do that, if we can just breathe 100% into other people and not get in our own echo chambers and tear folks down and take oxygen away from their environment, but always breathing life into other people's environments or their atmosphere so they can thrive in their environments, we soar. Then we can inspire worlds. Not inspire the world, but inspire worlds, which is my vision for my company, Inspired Communications International. Because like Joel, myself, our worlds collide, and then Joel can go off in his own sphere of influence, and I can go off in my sphere of influence, and we are inspiring our spheres of influence. So that's how we push forward. Yeah, we have to stop giving ourselves excuses and work harder. Exactly. And that's right, Joel. I mean, we have to stop with the excuses because we do get our own echo chambers, especially now coming up, and it's going to be a hotbed of people blowing you up on your phone for vote for this candidate, the other candidate. And we have to find, if we're going to listen to that stuff on the news, we got to find things that are balanced that go against the grain so we don't get the same stuff into our world, shift the algorithms so we get a balanced viewpoints. And then we need to get away from it because if we just saturate ourselves with it, as what we allow into our minds is what comes out. So that's another way to make sure that we're giving 100%, is tuning into those things that are giving us value, that are breathing life to us. So that is the chapter. Sticking to it. Chapter number 7. You can get the book if you haven't gotten it already. Just go to my website. It's out there for you. It's a very easy read. You know, I'm working on my next book right now, with leadership books, and I can't wait for it to come out. I was at the coffee shop yesterday working on the manuscript. So that's, yeah, it's an arduous process, but it's fun. It's really great going back and seeing people like Joel, right? That we cross paths and they just bring a smile to your face. So thanks for being on today, Joel. If you want to book me or you want to follow me, just go to johnregister.com, johnregister.com. You'll see that I'm also up here posting, pushing live on Facebook. And I think that's at JF Register on Facebook. On X is at JF Register as well. LinkedIn is just linkedin.com/in/John Register. And then finally, I think I'm looking at YouTube. So I'm going to change YouTube around a little bit, but it's going out live right now on YouTube. All right. So next week will be chapter number 8, as we're getting down to the end of it, because there are only 10 chapters. Go back and listen to some of the other chapters, and you can hear from chapters 1 through 7 to now. And chapter number 8 is rebuilding on a false summit. Rebuilding. How do we rebuild on a false summit? Interesting. So we'll be back next Sunday with that as well. All right. Have a great day today. Go forth, inspire your world. I'll be out on not next week, but the week after in Richmond, Virginia. I'm going to Reno, Nevada next week, as well as Chicago, Illinois. So get out there. Hopefully, if you're around those two areas, let's have a meetup. Let's just kind of meet up. Just shoot me a note. DM me. Love meeting up with folks. Have a fantastic day. Go forth, inspire your world, because go is your command, forth is your direction, inspire is your vocation. Your, because only you can do this work, and world, because it's your sphere of influence. 10 power stories from impacting leader. Journey your way to leadership success. This is a conversation with the author, John Register, and we'll be back next week for chapter number 8, rebuilding on a false summit. Bye for now, everybody.